All right, everyone. For those living under a rock, McCabe, fired former FBI director, gave a 60 Minutes interview a couple days ago and basically confirmed a sort of coup. Literally, people within the government discussing trying to get Trump removed from office very, very early on, and it was really funny because for some reason the MSM, I wonder why, it decided to split split hairs and sort of delve into linguistic propaganda and declare, well, it's not really a coup. No, there's no evidence of a coup. Well, what would you call it if a bunch of people get together, in secret, of course, and they talk about trying to nail you to the wall to get you forced out of office as soon as you've taken the oath of office? What else would you call it? It's not based on reality. The Steele dossier that triggered all of these investigations that have been going on is not a real thing. It's a bunch of BS that Christopher Steele fed back to himself, regurgitating his own info by bouncing it between media organizations and online sources. He made his own news, wrapped it up as opposition research for the Jeb campaign. Jeb drops out. He sells it to the Clinton campaign. Somebody somewhere along the way got the bright idea of handing this over to CIA and FBI officials, and it got basically marked as legitimate, despite the fact that, again, it was basically fraudulent, and it triggered all of this. It was basically a chain reaction. Now, it's not sure in my mind whether even at all of these steps it was malevolent. I think what happened is the initial op research was just regular op research. It happens all the time. It was just improperly done. Unfortunately, it was taken seriously by people that weren't apparently fully aware that it was bullshit, essentially. They handed off because they thought it was relevant to the FISA court. FISA court says, oh my god, and then they rubber stamp everything anyway. Rosenstein gets it. The FISA court has told him it's legitimate enough for their findings. So he says, okay, I'll sign off on it. Yeah, this is really significant. I'm going to give it over to these other people. Unfortunately, once the probe was triggered, and then they realize thereafter that it's BS, they say, oh shit, we have to save face somehow. By this point, they're actively trying to get rid of Donald Trump, probably because they're trying to save their own necks, so to speak. Because they realize, whoops, we just accidentally triggered a major investigation based on BS into an active presidential campaign, and he won. Well, that could be a little bit problematic. We could end up fired and so forth. And so McCabe comes along and he starts laying the groundwork to make sure that Trump can't end the investigation because it's meant to be a witch hunt. It's got to be ongoing. They probably want to keep it going through his second term that he's likely to get. Yes, there is possibility that they do that. Bongino comes out. And he's like, well, this is a bunch of bullshit. It basically is a coup. An Autopsy of a Dead Coup, the name of this particular article. Read it. It's very, very interesting. And they're pointing out at every possible juncture, there were so many mishandlings of this material. There have been so many screwy things going on, and there is so much blatant dishonesty. You have McCabe now essentially admitting to attempting to usurp the properly elected President of the United States based on no evidence. That is what it boils down to. But the media, during his interview, barely asks him about anything related to that. He comes as his, yeah, Rosenstein was absolutely serious when he said I wanted to record the president. That's funny. Rosenstein has maintained for months that it was a joke. So which is it? Was he just making, oh, it was just a joke, brah. I said it in passing. I said, we thought Trump might end the investigation. I chuckled. I said, oh, maybe we should just record the president. Oh, shit, they took me seriously and actually tried to do that. Whoops, says Rosenstein. By the way, I'm a dumbass. I didn't even read the FISA warrant before signing off on it. Rosenstein is playing dumb. That's number one. Number one thing is Rosenstein's playing dumb. He knows full well what he did. He probably did attempt to record the president. He's probably related to all these leaks that happened early on in the presidency and only stopped more or less when they realized it was politically suicidal and could get them thrown in a federal prison. That's number one. Number two, he absolutely read the FISA warrant before signing off on him. Him playing dumb in front of Congress. Oh, I can't recall whether I read it. Bullshit. You're the deputy, you're the number two in the FBI. You don't remember reading whether you were going to spy on an active presidential campaign? No, I think you read it. You said, haha, well, he's not going to win anyway. Oh, this is going to be funny. We'll get to use the deep state bullshit to convince people to support whatever policies want. Miss Clinton's going to love this, because then she can beat up on Republicans for years over this big scandal. Well, no, it turns out that the big scandal is you triggered an investigation into this campaign based on false premises. And now they're trying to nail Manafort and all of these other, Papadopoulos and Michael Flynn and this, whatever her name was, the NRA Russian spy that actually did exist and apparently was just really horny. Like, she couldn't get enough from Ivan, and so she's like, oh, I want to fuck these big muscly dudes from the NRA. sitting on their board meetings so I can give Putin some meaningless drivel and he'll pay me money. This is a great job. That's what she was doing. It's not spy versus spy. People have put, it's like Naked Gun or something like that. Not exactly a James Bond situation. Oh my God, she managed to penetrate the mid-level NRA meetings. The NRA is not, I mean, it's not even a political organization in the elected sense. It's just an advocacy group. It's a lobby. Who fucking cares if she infiltrates the NRA? You were spying for a foreign state. Who cares? Was any significant intel lifted? Was anything classified compromised? I dare say the answer is probably no. I dare say that the answer is almost certainly no. The Trump, and they point out, well, there have been fake stories all along, like Cohen coming out and saying things about Trump, commanding him about what to say and do, and pay off these people and transfer these funds, and it never happened. We know that it never happened. The reports keep having to be redacted. You keep getting these sensationalized reports, and then they redact them a couple days later when no one cares anymore. Or the Trump Tower story, which turned out to be bogus. Or any of these other stories. The Stormy payoff being, after he had signed paperwork for the election, which we know now is not true. Every step of the way, the MSM has been complicit, and that's the other basic premise here. That's what my interest in this article is more about the MSM's role. Because it clearly shows you, step by step by step, half a dozen fucking times, major outlets that appear to have been working with the Clinton campaign, if these WikiLeaks emails are at all true, and they came from the Clinton campaign, so I have no reason to doubt them, or they came from Podesta or Clinton's private server in some cases. The DNC emails quite literally show people on the Clinton camp and in the DNC, and this is, well, the primaries are going on. Bernie Sanders is still in the DNC's running interference for Hillary Clinton. Doesn't that chap your ass a little bit, Democrats out there, so-called liberals? I'm more liberal than these people. They're just a bunch of fucking Dem partisans. They don't care what the ideology is as long as they have a D after the name. And they'll oppose a liberal if they have an R after their name. That's the funny part. Rubio suggests, comprehensive immigration reform that amounts to amnesty. They'll still beat up on him. Oh, he's still a racist because he's got that fucking R after his name. But they show you the Cohen meetings, and the money direction, the Trump Tower meeting, and the NRA bullshit infiltration story, and all of these other things. The Pissgate sort of bullshit. And none of it's true. It's all completely fake, and yet the MSM does the same thing. It's formulaic. Time after time, networks that were coordinating with the Clinton camp especially, and they're in bed with the Never-Trumpers. Like, remember, it was a Jeb op research that created the Steele dossier. These people are joined at the hip, the same thing. The Never-Trumpers, the neocon Republicans, are in league with the Democrats. Most of them, the neoliberals. That's most of our political structure. That's the deep state. It's not partisan. It's not, hey, a bunch of dishonest Democrats. No, there are plenty of Republicans on board. Why do you think Trump was joking about Mitt Romney and that SOTU mashup? What did he retweeted? Why do you think he thought that was appropriate to put in? This is fellow Republican. Oh my God, it's not a partisan issue. The deep state has attempted to usurp the presidency. The duly elected president is facing down a literal witch hunt, which is based on a moral panic in part, and it is based on nonstop 24/7 propaganda to try to convince people ahead of time that Trump is so debilitatingly dumb and horrible and bad for the nation that even if the Steele dossier isn't proper, he should still be removed from office or handicapped constantly from doing anything. That is the attempt. And so far, it's failing. His approval is just fine. The economy is marching along. Peace might break out in the Middle East and Korea. Oh my God. John McCain's corpse is rolling over in its grave so much if you attach a dynamo to it, you could power a small city. Renewable energy is going to be neocons turning over in their grave over and over. No, I think he's facing downward. He had to keep his eye on home plate, so to speak. No, Trump's doing fine. It is basically a coup. And now, I mean, the Democrats right now, you hear what Adam Schiff said the other day? Oh, well, if Mueller doesn't find anything, doesn't mean we stop looking into it. So basically, you're going to Benghazi Donald Trump. I don't think that's going to work. Oh, Mueller found nothing? Senate Intel found nothing? Well, we're still going to keep investigating for the next 20 years. We're going to waste taxpayer resources and valuable time looking into something that has already been investigated by two of the most powerful possible intel groups you can imagine for 2 years. One of them already said there's no evidence of collusion and found nothing, absolutely nothing that was worthy of telling the public, and the other one probably will do the same. Their big victory as far as the Mueller report goes is to be, hey, we got Manafort. He laundered all this money 10 years ago. Wow. Oh, does it have anything to do with Russia? No, not directly. Does it have anything to do with Trump? No. Does it have anything to do with the 2016 campaign? No. But we got it. We got the bad guy. Oh, Michael Flynn improperly represented the U.S. in the sense of a de facto ambassador with the Turks and with the Russians. Ooh. Oh, did they have any? Did Trump tell him to do that? No. Oh, what was compromised as far as national security? Nothing? Oh, no wonder he's not in a jail cell right now. Papadopoulos lied to the FBI. Did it have anything to do with collusion? No, he just lied during an interview because Trump was staring at him from the wall of this FBI room. We gave him 2 weeks in jail. Oh, major success. What about Roger Stone? What did he do? Oh, he tampered with witnesses. Oh, did it have anything to do with collusion? No. No, he lied and he tampered with witnesses. Dude, he's facing like 6 months in prison. On the maximum charges. He's facing less than a year in a low security, like, fucking county jail, dude. These aren't even felony charges that he's facing. He's out free right now. They put a gag order on him. Why the hell do you think they put a gag order on him for these kinds of charges? It's because they knew that he can go out there and parade up and down the street saying, hey, it's a witch hunt. Hey, I'm barely facing jail time. They'll probably just fucking find me. Who gives a fuck? And he does his Jackie Martling impression every single day. He's a funny dude. Roger Stone's hilarious. He should start a comedy tour. He'd make millions. They're not going to get Trump. They're not going to indict him. And as far as the coup goes, it looks like a miserable failure. And that's because it's prefaced on things that were false. They assumed when they triggered it, those that were sort of in the know, deep state style, being malevolent, they thought that they were going to find dirt on Trump. And when they realized that Trump is actually pretty squeaky clean by the standards of anyone in politics, like way cleaner than most politicians, because he was never officially in an elected capacity, any foibles he had are related to money and they're related to private industry. Not impeachable. Totally non-impeachable. They reopened, the Democrats now are talking about wanting to delve more into his taxes again. The House, led by, AOC at this point, the leader of the Democrats in waiting, so to speak. Oh, we're going to look into his taxes. We still think that he fudged those. That's funny. You didn't talk about that for a year and a half while you thought the Mueller report was going to nail him to the wall. As soon as Senate Intel said there was nothing there to be found, all of a sudden you reverted to his taxes. Wow. The problem is Mueller's been looking into those, I assure you, as well. He has carte blanche. He can look into anything. Apparently he hasn't found any tax evasion. Trump probably paid more taxes than Joe Biden each year at his 12% rate. I wish that I could pay the same tax rate that Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders pays, making many times more money. Man, that would be so great to be able to squirrel my money away to the Cayman Islands Mitt Romney style. I wish, because then they couldn't use it to bomb people overseas. That's about all. Peace out.